and welcome back to my channel, and I hope you're enjoying the new setup. I'm still trying to get used to it, trying to like suss it out because obviously my window's here and everything, so I'm just trying to make sure it's all looking fine. I'm looking a bit pale today, but we're just gonna roll with it and hope for the best. So today I thought it would be fun to do a things I wish I knew before travelling video. So if you aren't aware, I live in Victoria, Australia, and we have just gone back into a lockdown for another 6 weeks. So I certainly will not be going anywhere in the near future, but I thought for all of you lucky enough to be out of lockdown now and to be able to book holidays, that I would make a list of things that I wish I knew before I went away for my big trip. So I've got the list on my laptop here, I'm filming on my phone, and I'm going to go through them all with you and kind of explain my reasoning behind them and just kind of tell you little tips and tricks about travelling. So the first one, which is honestly one of the most important ones, is don't overpack. Now this sounds like really self-explanatory and you'd be like, why would I overpack? Like, it's really not that difficult. But when you're leaving, you're like thinking in your head, I'm gonna wear this here, that there. Like, I want a different outfit every day. Unfortunately, that's just kind of not how it works. So you have to find pieces that like mix and match with each other that you can wear throughout the trip to make yourself like look different, but also like use minimal space in your luggage. Like, I can't even tell you the amount of times I had to sit on my suitcase to do it up because it was just far too full. Number 2 is plan your itinerary, but not too closely. So I did a top deck tour and it was all sort of planned for me for that portion of the trip, which was like amazing. I loved it because I just got sort of freedom to do what I want in the places that we were at, and they would transport us there, do a few bits and pieces with the group, and then we could go and do whatever we wanted. But in travelling, I say by myself, I was also travelling with 3 friends. When we were travelling, we spontaneously booked a trip to another country because we were that close to it. We were like, well, while we're here, we might as well. So we sacrificed, like, I think it was 26 hours of a day in a city that we had maybe like 4 days there, and we just went off and we went to Budapest, and it was honestly like the highlight of the trip. So don't plan your itinerary too closely because there are a lot of spontaneous things that happen when you're traveling. It's just what happens when you're exploring the world, and it's honestly like the best part of it. Number 3 is not everything will go the way that you plan it to, and that is okay, that is fine. Again, that goes with like not planning your itinerary too closely. You don't want to restrict yourself so that you can't do things. Also, just like, you might lose things along the way. Like, I have some medication that I took with me and I happened to lose it halfway along the trip. Luckily it was able to be sorted out, but stuff like that does happen, and you just kind of have to not prepare for it because you don't expect it to happen, but be able to like rearrange your mindset to fix the problem, because problems do occur. It just kind of happens. Like, it's unpredictable when you're on the other side of the world, so you just kind of have to go with it. Number 4 is to document your trip. So you can do this however you like. You can write a journal if you like writing. You can take photos, you can take videos, you can make a YouTube video. I've got one way back in my channel, I'll link it in the description actually, of my Europe trip, and I'm so glad that I took all those videos because watching that footage back just makes me so happy and makes me remember how much fun I had, and also just like brings back ideas to your head about things that happened that you didn't even remember. Number 5 is be a yes person because it makes the best stories. So this doesn't necessarily mean you have to go and skydive if you really have a fear of heights. But this is like, if someone says, oh, why don't we go and explore this town? It's about 40 minutes out. Let's go have a look, see what it's like. Just say yes if you have the time to do it, if you've got the spare time, if you're willing to do it, go and do it, because the memories you make from that will be incredible. But then this sort of follows into the next one, which is don't ignore your mental health. Like, if your brain is really pushing at you and being like, don't do that, like, I don't feel comfortable doing that, it's not safe, I really feel like that's out of my comfort zone, you don't have to do it. The same thing goes for if you're on a tour, for example. I know one night I was feeling really sick and really poorly, and I was like, okay, I need to relax tonight so that I can make the best of the rest of the trip without like compromising any of it. So I took some time to myself and I had a bit of a zen night. And yes, everyone else was out and they were drinking and they were like having fun and whatever, but it meant that I could enjoy the rest of the trip without compromising my mental health or like my being. So it just honestly benefited the rest of the trip for me. And I did like poke my head out a few times to like hang out with people because I didn't want to be completely alone, but I also didn't want to be like woohoo, like riled up, because it wasn't what I wanted. The seventh thing, is that knowing simple phrases can be a lifesaver. Not really like a lifesaver as such, but like if you're away and you need to ask someone where something is, like just having like little words can help. Also just like manners, so like pleases and thank yous, hellos and goodbyes in other languages can help with the barrier between you and them. Like just that sort of mutual understanding makes such a difference. Like I was in France and we needed to get a train ticket to the Gare du Nord, and I was the only one that could speak French, so I had to go up to the lady. I can't speak much French, like literally none at all. I'm useless. Like if you ask me to speak French right now, I'd probably just go, parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak English? Because I don't remember anything. But anyway, this woman couldn't actually speak English, but because I could speak a little bit of French, she did help me out and pointed me in like the right direction so that I was able to get to where I was going. And honestly, that was a absolute lifesaver. The next two, which kind of go hand in hand with each other, is get lost, which is fun. Getting lost in another city is so exciting and it is a little bit nerve-wracking, I won't lie, but getting lost and being like, you find things that you wouldn't expect to find. Like if you go into London, you would think, okay, I'll go see Big Ben, I'll go see the London Eye and whatever other landmarks you want to go see. But if you just walk around, you'll find like little surprises and also little stories everywhere. Like we went to the bathroom in a lawyer's building, like so random. But then hand in hand with that, you also want to recognise that Wi-Fi and maps will also be your best friend, because there's fun in getting lost as long as you can get back to where you started or where you need to actually be. So having maps and having Wi-Fi is going to help that, so that you don't literally end up walking from like Paris to Switzerland because that's not ideal. The next thing, which is quite important, is budget but allow room to splurge. So obviously you want to budget for your trip. I think I spent around $10,000. If you want me to go into like specific detail, I can make a video on it and literally like break down all of the itinerary and everything. But I allocated money to allow to pay for the trip, pay for the flights, pay for like food and all my essentials, but then I also had spare money in my pocket for if I wanted to purchase something, if I happen to, I don't know, book a flight to Budapest like I did and stuff like that. Just having that extra money allows for like fun activities, and so that you don't feel so restricted. Like if you're traveling, you want to be in the mindset that while I'm here, I might as well do it. The next thing is to ignore time. Obviously, unless you're on a tour, because they sometimes have strict schedules of when you are supposed to get like on the buses and onto like certain activities and stuff like that. But apart from that, ignore it. Just do what you want to do. Go out, have fun, go to a club at night, and if you happen to be there until 6 a.m, so be it, as long as you're having fun. Enjoy it. But then at the same time, obviously, if you're like booking tickets to somewhere and you have to be there for that time, make sure you're there for that time, because it's hard to explain that you got lost in the middle of a city if you're trying to get a ticket somewhere. And also, you don't want to face that embarrassment. The next point is that no distance is too far. I think I've made this very clear. I've mentioned it so many times in this video, but I literally travelled on a plane for like 2 or 3 hours, I can't remember how long it was, to get from one country to another to go and surprise my friends. And being able to do that is so fun. Like the fact that like in Australia it'd take me 2 hours to get to Sydney, and there I literally crossed like 4 countries. Like no distance is too far at all. And last but not least, the final point is to make friends and have fun. So I know that sounds so, again, really cliche, but all of the things that I've listed are quite important to know before you go traveling. but the main thing is that you want to have fun. So like, just enjoy yourself, embrace the whole experience. If you don't want to talk to your parents because it's going to make you homesick, don't talk to your parents. If you want to go and try like 50 Jaeger bombs, not that I'd suggest 50, go try one. And then if you want to go for a walk and climb up the Eiffel Tower, do it. Like, just have fun and you'll make friends along the way. Approaching people can be quite daunting, but it is so rewarding. I have so many friends that I have now because of my trip that I wouldn't have had before. So thank you for watching this video. If you've made it all the way through, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below any of your travel tips or like need to knows for people who are wanting to go away somewhere. Also subscribe for more content. I've got a massive list in my notes on here of things that I want to put up on my channel coming soon. So it's quite exciting. And if you have anything you would like to see from me, please leave a comment down below, or let me know on my Instagram. Send me a DM, send me a tweet on Twitter. Just catch me on all my social medias. I'm always on there, let's be honest. My phone barely leaves my hands. And I will see you next time. And if you're going on a trip, enjoy it, and please take photos for me and send them to me, because I'm extremely jealous, because this is where I'm gonna be for the next 6 weeks. Literally on my bed, right here.